What a blessing, what an unearned blessing to be literally next door to the world's largest, richest market. What an advantage to us when the great markets of America are just a short truck ride or train ride away. I mean, Windsor, Ontario is practically merged with Detroit, Michigan when it comes to assembling automobiles. The same car goes back and forth across the border several times before it's done. Imagine how lucky Honda or Toyota or Kia or Hyundai would feel if Japan or Korea were just across a bridge from America. And of course, so many American cultural values seep across our borders to our benefit. It's not in our laws, it's not in our Constitution, but by mere proximity to them, I think we have a stronger commitment to freedom of speech and the rule of law than we would have if we were far away. It's not for nothing that the final showdown in terms of freedom of speech on social media is shaping up to be the European censors versus America and the First Amendment. And you've already heard from our Prime Minister, Mark Carney, that he wants to join the Europeans. Apparently, becoming the 28th EU country isn't as offensive to him as becoming the 51st U.S. state. How can you not admire America's meritocracy, their science and industry? Look at Elon Musk, a 1 in a billion man. But the fact that he could have stayed in South Africa, where he was born and raised, or he could have stayed here in Canada, where he came and went to university, but he chose America, because really, how could he have done any of the things he has done in Canada? Politically, economically, scientifically. Just think of the regulations and the taxes. I mean, they'd have him do a carbon emissions analysis of his rocket ships. You think I'm kidding, but of course, that's what they do. They do gender analysis of major projects here in Canada. They would censor his Twitter project. They would tax his SpaceX project. But really, if you want to work with smart entrepreneurial people and you want to pay them well, of course you're going to go to America. Everyone in the world wants to go there, entrepreneurs and dreamers and builders, but also people who just want to mooch off of them. That's why I'm excited about Donald Trump's remigration project. He's making America more American and less illegal foreigners. America is special that way. It's about 400 years old, really, which is old. And the political entity called the United States of America is almost 250 years old. But other than Indian bands, it's not a unique ethnicity like being Irish or English or French is. America was settled and built originally by the English and the Dutch and the Germans and the French even, and there was the Spanish and Latino influence, and then came later waves of Italians and Greeks and Jews and Chinese. And as Trump thoughtfully points out, there are foundational Black Americans who were brought to America as slaves but built the country, a moral challenge America is still reckoning with, but hardly a unique blight. Slavery has existed in almost every country over the course of time. Only America has gone through such a brutal self-examination, and even in part a civil war over it. Part of the genius of America is that it Americanized those immigrants. Of course, they lived amongst themselves at first, but there is an Americanness that verges on blood and soil nationality. America is about land, the ability to buy land, to have land of your own, not just to be a feudal serf indentured to some lord. The Wild West with open vistas, land is a big part of it, which is why the automobile culture in America is stronger than anywhere else. Cars are a key to freedom in a big country, which is why so many leftists have declared war on cars. America, of course, has the world's best constitution in that it is a vital document. You might find it hard to believe, but the Soviet Constitution, for example, here's the 1977 version promulgated under Brezhnev that mentions the word freedom 18 times. But of course, it was a lie. It was propaganda. Here's an excerpt. Just for example, Article 50. In accordance with the interests of the people and in order to strengthen and develop the socialist system, citizens of the USSR are guaranteed freedom of speech, of the press, and of assembly, meetings, street processions, and demonstrations. Exercise of these political freedoms is ensured by putting public buildings, streets, and squares at the disposal of the working people and their organizations, by broad dissemination of information, and by the opportunity to use the press, television, and radio. Yet not a word of that is true, but it sure looked pretty on paper, didn't it? In America, they lived their Constitution, more or less, and more or less supporting the Constitution is a bipartisan thing. It's under assault more than ever, to be sure, but there is a general agreement that the American Revolution was noble and its Constitution is a document protecting the people from tyrants. We don't have that same rebellious mindset up here, do we? I guess what I'm saying is the United States feels like the last great hope for freedom and progress, not just for America, but for all mankind. I mentioned Elon Musk earlier. None of his projects would have had a chance in a communist, racist kleptocracy like South Africa, where he was born. Canada would have strangled it so slowly through taxes and regulations and just driven him mad, I'm sure. Only America, with its combination of freedom and property rights and independent courts and upward mobility for anyone based on merit and a generally high trust society where you can feel safe dealing with strangers, whether it's just a pedestrian on the sidewalk or a man shaking your hand with a business deal. They've created something special over 400 years. It's not just an address. It's not just a hotel. It's not what the UK's Keir Starmer said about his country, that mass immigration has made it a nation of strangers.
Let me put it this way. Nations depend on rules, fair rules. Sometimes they're written down, often they're not. But either way, they give shape to our values, guide us towards our rights, of course, but also our responsibilities, the obligations we owe to each other. Now, in a diverse nation like ours, and I celebrate that, these rules become even more important. Without them, we risk becoming an island of strangers.
But enough explaining why America is great. Let's just take a moment to say thank you to them. Seriously. I would like to thank the United States for being Canada's best friend, even when we don't quite deserve it, even when we're a bit too righteous and a bit too jealous. I'd like to thank the United States for protecting us with the world's mightiest military. Even though we haven't kept our promises to pay our fair share as a NATO ally, we take more than we give, yet they go through the motions of treating us like equals. I'd like to thank the U.S. for buying our stuff, about $600 billion worth every year, giving us so many jobs. We've seen them ask for the right to sell products into Canada too, but for a few ridings in rural Quebec, every Canadian political party has put Quebec's dairy cartel above not only America's free trade interests, but the interests of Canadians in having inexpensive, plentiful dairy and poultry too. That's a jackal move, needlessly irritating the lion who protects us, isn't it? I like America no matter who the president is. You have to. A country is more than its political class. I liked America even when Barack Obama unleashed racial civil wars to radicalize his base. I liked it even when Joe Biden projected weakness around the world. But those were the only times that so many other people around the world said they loved America, because they saw America undoing itself, receding, retreating. Like the man said, they sensed weakness. You know, we take things for granted. Our whole lives we've been at peace because of America. Our whole lives we've known only plenty. We live a life so luxurious that we can choose to worry ourselves about luxury issues that have no real meaning other than we need to keep ourselves feeling vigorous since there are no more dragons to slay. I'm talking about insanity like transgenderism or pronouns or even climate alarmism. That's the kind of thing you can choose to worry about when you have nothing to worry about. We've all seen the meme. I love this one. Have you seen it? Hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. That's our risk. It's been good for so long. We've been made weak and unserious. Now, America cannot afford to be weak and unserious, and they've decided to be great again. That's a phrase that makes some Canadians' eyes roll. Great. Who does he think he is? That's so over the top. America great? No, it's the same greatness that we had in Canada, to hew a country out of rivers and forests and rock, to blast a railroad through the Rocky Mountains, to settle the second largest country in the world, to make a real country, to fight alongside our allies on D-Day. We were great too. I don't know how great we are now. Some people don't want us to be great. Just another reason to thank God for our friends, the Americans. Stay with us for more. And help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. Members get instant access to all of our shows, invitations to exclusive events, and access to our premium content like live event footage and documentaries you won't see anywhere else. Only Rebel News Plus members can join the conversation by participating in the comments section of our new website. That way you can have your say too. More than anything, though, you'll be able to take pride in supporting real, honest journalism, and you'll help our talented team continue to do the work to push back on the establishment. We really can use your help. We need it, in fact. So thank you, and enjoy Rebel News Plus.